All right, man. Let's talk about what's next for Triple G. Now we do know Triple G has a certain amount of time to make a decision whether he's going to fight Gennady Lara and defend his middleweight, Super WBA middleweight title of the world. Okay, let's talk about that. Let's talk about him potentially fighting the field as well too at middleweight. Some guys at super middleweight. So Gennady Golovkin and Gennady Lara ordered by the WBA. It says that the World Boxing Association has approved Gennady Golovkin's request for a special permit to move up and weight for the upcoming trilogy with super middleweight Canelo Alvarez. We know that. They said earlier this year, Golovkin stopped Murata to unify WBA and IBF belts. The WBA, he was the WBA regular champion, so he got 120 days, you know, after this fight. So that kind of put him sometime in November to decide. I mean December to decide whether he wants to go right ahead and fight Gennady Lara. So my whole thing is why not? But I already think that PBC already know that Gennady Golovkin is pretty much not going to fight Gennady Lara. Okay, and what's going to happen is either Lara is going to get the vacant belt, or he's going to turn around and fight somebody for the WBA, and then he's probably going to turn around and give Danny Garcia or Keith Thurman a WBA middleweight title shot, which I think is more Danny Garcia than Keith Thurman at this point. So I think that's pretty much how it's going to play out there. Now, Lara is a very winnable fight. Hardy kind of looking kind of older. Um, Hardy looking like a kind of older in the gym. He not looking like he used to look. Um, so so I mean, we just gonna have to wait and see how it all play out for him. But I think I think that I think he should take the Lara fight. If the money right, why not? He was talking about taking on he was talking about taking on going on a world tour, just where the money at or whatever like that. Why not? Why not take on Lara? It's a good money fight. Lara, older fighter, you an older fighter. Yeah, the movement might be too much, but then again, Lara, a lot of people say is a boring opponent. So that is what it is. So his IBF hasn't said anything about a mandatory for him, but the number one contender in the IBF at middleweight is Escobar Falcao. So I don't think he got an issue there. Um, but moving on, obviously, a lot of people like to see the Jermall Charlo fight now. Derek Games just talked about, that on boxing scene, and I can pull that up in a minute. But it's a fight that's been talked about for half a decade, if not longer. You know, and after that performance, how do I feel about it? I think it's still a variable, very winnable fight for Gennady Golovkin. Now he took a minute to start up. Charlo ain't no Canelo, but then again, he do some things better than Canelo. More athletic, um, better jab, and that's just danger. They offered him that fight at one point, and he turned it down. All right, so he ended up going back to PBC. I mean, to the zone. I mean, but it's a fight. It's a fight. And I think a lot of people favor Charlo, but guess what? Like, Bluffing has been more active than Jermall Charlo had been. So you kind of think about that for a minute. He been more active than Jermall Charlo been. So I think it's a winnable fight for him, but it's a good fight for the fans. They probably put that on pay per view and all that type of stuff, but it's still a hell of a fight. Charlo's speed and athleticism and jab and his movement might just be too much. The thing about Charlo is he gonna try to hurt Gennady Golovkin, unlike Canelo Alvarez. He gonna be willing to hurt him. That's gonna open up an opportunity for Gennady Golovkin to hurt him. Charlo ain't never been in a professional fight with somebody that punched like Gennady Golovkin, even at his old age, not being warmed up a lot in that fight. You know what I'm saying? His jab still was a problem. A really good jab, and he can do some really good things in the ring. So, um, but here we go. So Jermall Charlo's trainer hoping for the Golovkin and Charlo unification. Um, he says he's back now. Says Shields to behind the gloves. He hurt his back right before the fight, but he's good now. He said they weren't confident that it was good move for him. Instead, they chose Bebo and Triple G, and of course, they lost to Bebo. Now he's fighting Triple G again. I don't knock anybody for doing business. I think you have to do what's best for yourself. So he said if Triple G comes up and beats Canelo, or if he loses, he still has two belts. Maybe he can be a fight for Jermall because he wants to unify. Hopefully that can happen. So that's probably more than likely not gonna happen. Think Jermall Charlo being lethargic and being out of rhythm and not being active, still think that still spells too much danger, stranger danger for Gennady Golovkin. So, but a lot of people favor Jermall Charlo in that fight. But then you start talking about Jose Benavidez Sr. start saying that he was rooting for he was rooting for Gennady Golovkin because Canelo wouldn't fight them and he believed Golovkin would. Now his son came up in the gym with Gennady Golovkin as well too. All right, his son came up in the gym sparring Gennady Golovkin and all of that. All right, man, just looking at that fight, man, nah, he ain't barking up that tree. Gennady Golovkin is too big, too strong. David Benavidez is too big, too strong, too much power, too much size. Gennady Golovkin know what happened to his ass in the gym, and I don't really think he want to bark up that tree. And at the end of the day, David don't bring nothing but an interim belt and stuff of that nature. So I don't really see that happening. I don't really see that happening. It'd be a great fight. The catapult. It'd be a great fight to catapult David into a potential Canelo Alvarez fight, and put a lot of pressure on that on that to happen. But that ain't happening. That ain't happening. So that is what it is. I don't think Triple G after that fight with Canelo, his track record tell you he ain't making no moves unless his next promotional company his next network make him take some moves. So him and Caleb Plant, that probably be the best fight for him. Him and Caleb Plant. Caleb Plant, a guy who like to move a lot. Um, yeah, he like to move a lot. He like to box a lot and move. He probably can knock out. He probably can knock out Caleb Plant. So I think he can knock out Caleb Plant, but it'd just be a money grab at that point. So I think he could, but like I said before, it'd be interesting. But the Plant fight would probably be the one that he more likely to take because of Plant inexperience. Plant still learning, and Plant move a lot, and he'll be able to walk Plant down, and Plant probably won't be able to keep his composure in his mind. So but nonetheless, I think that I think out of all the fights, man, that I think that the Charlo and the Benavidez fight is a fight that a lot of people gonna want to see. That's what I think. A lot of people gonna want to see them fights. But I think Gennady Golovkin is gonna do what financially makes sense for Gennady Golovkin. I can see him dropping the belts and going on a world tour. Floyd really, Floyd really, Floyd really starting the wave with that. But yeah, all tough fights in their own right. All tough fights in their own right. So, I mean, I don't envision him taking them fights, but if he do, he probably more than likely gonna sign the PBC. All these guys PBC. So, but like I said before, this was his track record. He had opportunities to fight most, if not all, these guys on this list, and he didn't fight them. I think Lara was talking shit about him years ago, and he didn't fight Lara. So, I mean, you know, uh, so I mean, I said before, his whole career has been avoiding not fighting the top level guys. Um, you know, that's just kind of what it's been. So, um, but I just think that he gonna. I don't think sound like he wanted to retire. I don't think the loss to Canelo was a fight that physically and demanding and bruising mentally on him that he gonna retire or nothing like that. Um, but in my opinion, I mean, he has never really fought nobody unless it really was, he seen a flaw in it or the powers that be forced it. So that's how I look at it, man. And I don't see him getting in the ring with none of them dudes. He don't have a track record for that. Now, if he looking for big money fights or not, I think they said he made $43 million fighting Canelo Alvarez. So I don't know what he's looking for, but he ain't really never looked for elite level competition. It's always been the route of the least resistance to kind of get where you want to go. So that's my opinion on it. Let me know what you girls and guys think. Thumbs up the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. Next subscribe button is the bell icon button. Hit all notifications, increase your chance to get notifications. We go live and drop video financially. Want to support the channel? Cash App, $ CJ Good 313, Venmo CJ Good 313, PayPal link in the description. Hit my link tree. Find me on Twitch, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, Instagram. Cash App, Venmo, PayPal, Apple Music, Google Podcast, the whole nine. Appreciate the love, support. One time for the one time. I know the business is peace.